I will try to present you drAEw and to explain the main goal of the tool and how it works. I will first use a composition because it's important to know that you can draw above a composition lively, or you can sketch, you can create things without any kind of composition. We have two ways of animating using drAEw. The first one is the live rendering, and the other one is the onion skinning. In the live rendering, you will automatically create one shape layer after another based on the duration of the frame. So for example, if I select, let's say, a duration of 10 frames, and if I am on the automatic mode, I will immediately see that when I'm drawing something, it immediately appears here, okay? And then it will jump each 10 frames. So I have now something like this. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? I will redo using a duration of 2 frames. And you will see it will be slightly the same thing. I mean, here you have the onion skinning, okay? I'm drawing with my mouse and not with a Cintiq or a Wacom or an iPad, but you can imagine what you can do with these kind of things. And I'm just, I'm just playing with the tool. So the tool is creating on this, using this feature, is creating one shape layer at a time. And this shape layer, what is interesting is that this shape layer can be edited. For example, here I will change the color. So as you can see now, I'm in After Effects and the string is now green, okay? But I can also here increase the width, okay? And if I want to open the properties panel, I will have everything. I can change the cap, the join of my lines. So now I have something different. It's a vector, so I can select here in my group and in my path and in my stroke the dashes, okay? I can type dashes here. That's the same thing. And I can immediately, I think that you understood that I can immediately add a gap. And if I use the wrong one, I would have something maybe interesting like this. Here we go. So that's a stroke. And I will delete them. In the live mode, the automatic mode, you also have the fill. So the possibility to, for example, to have no stroke, I mean a 0 pixel width, so no stroke, and just the fill. So now I will have my fill here, and this fill will be directly implemented in the timeline, just like this. Yeah, so with my mouse, once again, maybe some of you already seen some videos that I made about drAEw and this kind of approach. So once again, since you are using vectors, you can modify the shape and you can also modify the color. You can modify the opacity, because the opacity that you have there or there for the fill, for example, is directly included when you are pushing your shapes from drAEw to After Effects. So that's really interesting, because if I have something like this and like that, I will have the different opacity visible. We will have different brushes. This one, it's based on the speed. If I stay there, okay, you have immediately the kind of approach of an ink approach. So then you have here the example, and I will change the color to have something more popping and less transparent. And once again, yes, you have this kind of thing. So this is not a stroke. It's impossible to have different width on the same line. So it's a fill. So you can change on the fly the properties of the fill. I mean the opacity, the color, if it's a gradient or not, etc. Let's take this brush and let me show you why it can be interesting. Just because you can grab the picture and then you can start to do something like this, you know. And then what do we have? So it's based on 2 frames duration, and we'll have something like in full quality. Yeah, it's quite discrete, but you have the movement here. Yeah, it's fluid, but that's interesting for this kind of effect, this kind of thing. So you can imagine that you can precompose these layers, automatically create it, and then add any kind of effects within your comp, for example, a glow or something like that, and then you will have your effect added on your footage. So that's it for the automatic mode. Now you have another mode, and this other mode is the onion skin mode or the manual mode. So how does it work? You will see what you are doing lively, but not within the comp, just in your panel. And then you will push your contents as layers or as one single framed layer. So let me show you. So let's imagine that I want to highlight this part. No. So you can go back, with Palm Z or Control Z. I will simplify a little bit my line, and I will select a 1 frame duration animation. I will add this with my mouse. Then I will click on this arrow and I will jump on the other picture from there, 1 frame later. Okay. I can play with opacity to see the onion skinning. So that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah. So this is a live session, so I can't, create a time lapse. So you will need to be patient. You can take a cup of coffee. You can chat with me. I don't know if I can see your messages. This is the first time that I'm doing this kind of thing. Let's push a single layer with all these shapes sequenced. So now, here we go. We have all the shapes here, 1 frame at a time. Okay? So what I can do now is to copy and paste, for example, the keyframes to reproduce the animation, or use an expression to remap, to have a loop using the remap expression with the time. So here we go. You have, this above the footage. And what I can do, since I have only a stroke there, I can change here. For example, I can use this kind of thing. I have my orange thing, and I will put it in full resolution. Okay. What I can do, just for fun, is to restart. And as you can see, I have already the first stroke, but what I can do now is to use this to change the color, to add this, and it didn't change the color because I'm stupid. Yes, and now it's okay. Yeah, and then I'm jumping to another frame. I'm playing with opacity so I can see what I'm doing. You can see the CTI jumping, you know, one frame to another. Okay, let's push this and let's see what we have there. Okay. Yeah, the first part was white and green, and I want to have something fully green. So let's have it this way. Now it will be fully green. And as I said, we can pre-comp, let's say tentacles. I don't know why, but so this is an experiment of what you can do with drAEw. I will have one called Capellini. Why? Just because I love pasta, and just because we are looking closely, as you can see, you have different lines and they are attached. So what will happen? You can imagine that I will immediately use layers. I will push my layer. So my layer is just one frame long. I will put my layer there and in full resolution. And here you have the possibility to edit as usual, and you have many lines, and that could be something really interesting to create animations, you know, with a cool look and feel, like almost with a paintbrush or something like that. But these are vectors. Let's test another brush just for fun. I love this one, pixels. This is a small pixel. Let's create a bigger one. This is also a small pixel. And this is another big pixel. Now I will change the color and the opacity. And I will create this straight line. And something interesting with this kind of brush, even if you can animate it, is that you can push it, you know, here. You can push it, and you can using the advanced 3D, you can use the extrusion depth, you know, and then you create something, really interesting. I mean, because you can animate each part of the pixel brush. So, I mean, if you are an adventurer, you can imagine that you would animate everything here. And that's a cool way to create voxels or pixels animations. You have an intersection here that can be interesting. So I didn't add a camera, but I let you imagine what you can do with lights and camera. If you want to make fancy stuff, you know, with an electrical approach, electric-ish, I don't know the word in English exactly, just use this brush. We've seen the ink, and you also have the cousin calligraphy, and it's the opposite. I mean, it's the speed will increase the width. You can have this kind of thing that you can't create, and that's better. So yes, this is just an available stroke in some kinds of productions. You may need to animate, in a hand-drawn style, this kind of visual. To grab the background color, I will need to have a solid or a shape, and then it will appear in draw. Okay, so now I will try to use this. So that's something fun, and you can play, you can create better than I'm doing right now in this demo, some composition and animate them like we saw before. You can how can I say that? You can fine tune everything that you are creating in the panel. Okay, so you can animate and you can draw. On one hand, it's to animate things above footage or directly, and on the other hand, it's to sometimes to draw in your canvas something that you can use in your composition, and you can animate what you're doing. But I will explain, for example, the watercolor brush is really special because you will have something that are vectors. I will push this and it will take a few seconds because we are talking about shapes and opacity. That's pretty cool. I mean, to have a single layer and to have so many shapes within it. And you have, for example, this one. So these brushes, the default, the straight lines, straight lines are clearly for animation purposes. This part, these are fills and not strokes. And the pixels, electricity, etc., that's for fun. So the fanciest is maybe this one. Just look at this. Okay, I called it Confetti, and you will understand why. Just because you have this, okay, you don't have to do it. Okay, it's just because it's fun. It's just for fun, and we can use. I love the idea of using it for 3D, and then you can animate the thing the way you want. You can imagine that we have, a path, or I don't know, this here, that we have, some architectural structures, thing like that, and you can use a shape, and you can, on the fly, right now, yes, this one. So you can animate everything using this fancy brush, okay? And the last one, which is just, bubbles. That's it for the brushes that are embedded in the tool, and many brushes will arrive soon. I'm working on them. And what do we have? So we can have the resolution. So it's not the resolution of the drawing, it's the resolution of what you're going to grab. If I'm in full resolution, when I will grab the image, the picture, so you will have the full resolution, if you can notice, and you will draw above footage using this full resolution, and that's for precise tracing. Okay, the simplifier there. So let's say that I want to have a precise tracing. I will use the full resolution. But when I will use my animation tool, it will take a few seconds to load the next frame and to continue to do my stuff. Okay, here I have my opacity so I can see what I'm doing, but I think that you get it. And you will see a difference with another resolution. So let me push this first. So I stay in full resolution, and I have, my drawing, which is fully messed because it was here, because my CTI started here, I guess. Yes. So really important to position your CTI where you started to animate. But let's say I'm in quarter resolution. When I will grab my image, it will be faster. Let's do it again. It will be faster, okay, but the resolution will be at quarter here and quarter there. So I can trace once again my animation. As you can see, it's really faster. But some users during the beta test phase told me that they prefer to have, a full resolution image, because I will do something for you. You can grab the picture in almost full screen mode like this. So if you have quarter resolution, and if you want to have something really precise, like 2-pixel line for a correction of something here, you know what I mean? Having this is not ideal, and maybe you want to have this kind of picture, okay, in full resolution, and to animate in full resolution.